important question, the essential one. Why is teamwork important? Well, I think we've certainly learned it throughout this year, so I'm sure that won't be a hard word for us to come up with an answer. The story you're going to be doing is really goes well with science. It's about a person that spends a great deal in the water called dive teams. Okay, and there she is right there. You're going to, it's a nice story. This woman has always been involved in water all her life. She certainly has enjoyed it. And then she went out and did something extremely different. All right, there is our question. Why is teamwork important? Okay, now here are your vocabulary words: exploration, important, machines, prepare, repair, results, scientific, and last but not least, teamwork. Um, and they will follow up within your story to be of help to you. If there's some words you don't know, let us help you. We're glad to. I think most of these you know. We're going to look a little bit, even though you haven't read the story, because we were off yesterday, summarize, just remember, and they go through it again, what you read. Use your own words to tell the most important parts of a selection. And after you read this on 435, you'll have a better understanding. You have done summaries before, so it's not anything new. It's just something that you have to remember what you're to do. Main idea and key details. The main idea is the whole important point of why the author wrote this topic. Key details that support the main idea. What does he think is important? What is this about? Here are 3 details. They gave you 1. All right. There are many jobs on a dive team. Maybe you never thought of it that way, but a team means team effort of doing many different types of jobs, and you never know what they might be. So take a hard look it over, and if you have any questions, we'll be back again tomorrow. Expository text, we've done this also. Remember, it gives facts and information about a topic. It also can have photos, captions, and maps, charts, all kinds of things, labeling, anything. Here's the text feature with the map and map keys, because they felt that important, wanted you to know where this team would be looking for sunken ships. Maybe they found gold or other great things. So always take a look at what extra is offered. Now this I thought was neat, called Greek and Latin roots. Many of the words that we speak come from these 2 different places, Greek and Latin languages. Now, it says here, I see the word divide. I'm not sure what the word means. Now, this child happened to know that dive, D-I-V, div, I should say, is a Latin root that means separate. Divide must mean separate something that makes sense. All right. They divided up the tasks and each person helped to get the job done. Meaning you did one thing, somebody else did another, so that it can get done and done well. And that's really important, because you have to work together to get what you want done as the whole team to make the project successful. Down at the bottom, and this will be in your turn, I'll just check with you. It says the Greek words location and remember. When you look at those 2 pages, 436 and 437, they're going to give you more information as well. Who would have known that so many of our words are from so many different places and countries? But they are. All right. So please don't rush. We did miss a day, but take your time and go through the materials. Here's what the girl wrote after she looked at dive teams and her topic. My first sentence states my opinion. So this is an opinion writing. And she answers, did the author do a good job in explaining what teamwork is, what is important? Did they do a good job? What does she say? And then you'll notice grammar. This is an example of an adjective that compares. So sometimes adjectives can help you out a lot in different ways than just saying a number or a color. So take a look and also check out Grammar Handbook. You don't have the Grammar Handbook, but we can do things with it to be of help to you. All right, you have supporting and strong clues here, information. She read it carefully. Again, do you notice that it's not long and lengthy, but it does tell you what you need to know in the precise way. It's not about how much you write, it's do you explain it. All right, so now you're going to take a little extra time probably today on this, and that would be good. All right, if you have questions, just wait till I'll be glad to help you. We're going to move on to, sorry, to your turn book, and you have pages in there to do starting at 271. Here goes your vocabulary. Here's where you're finding out that 3 different ways help to make up the ending of some words. There's your vocabulary.
Also, guys, we do realize that we kind of are jam-packing Mondays with
Yes.
Tuesdays. So if you guys don't have time to finish everything, then that's fine. Okay. So if you don't have enough time, you guys can spend the next 2 weeks, all the way until the last week of school completing this. Remember, we are not going to be checking your work. So if you decide that, it's, there's, a lot going on and you don't have time to complete all of it, then that's fine. Okay. So this is available for you guys if you have the time and the ability to do it. If you do it, that's going to help you because these are all things that are helping build your ELA, your comprehension skills. But if you don't have time to complete it all today, because we do understand that it is a lot of work, then that's fine.
Also, do remember too, the one thing we would like you to do is the fluency. That would be one thing I'd like you to do today or tomorrow. These are some interesting stories, and we don't have any baby mammoths around here now. This is from time ago. Take a look at this if you can. We do know that there's a lot of work. The more you can do to help yourself, great. However, there's sometimes we have to skip over something. So not to worry. This one here, the draft model, is where you read a little passage here, see how you can help make these, or this, I should say this little passage, this little draft better. And if you have time, you might like to add and show details along with what Melissa uses here. Now, we have to kind of wait on this one because we haven't done that story. And it's about being an astronaut. I think that comes up tomorrow, Miss Park. So I don't want to get too far ahead and get them off. But take a look at it. You can always read it if you want. All right? Don't be afraid that you skipped something this time. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to go to Math Pearson. It's the topic 17 for stepping into 3rd grade. I'd like to have you, and I appreciate you reviewing and looking at them so that next year will be of help to you to get an idea of what you're going to be doing. One thing I wanted to say, and I'll tell you after we watch this video for 17.5. And this is about fractions.
Mr. Kim served part of a pan of fruit bars to friends. What does each part of the pan represent? What part was served? What part was left? A fraction is a symbol that names equal parts of a whole. A fraction with a numerator of 1 is called a unit fraction. What is the whole in this problem? The whole is the entire pan of fruit bars. What does each equal part of the pan of fruit bars represent? Each equal part is a fraction of the whole. What fraction is assigned to each part? There are 6 equal pieces in the whole, so each piece is 1/6. What part was served? There are 2 pieces missing, so 2 1/6 pieces were served. What part is left? There are 4 pieces left, so 4 1/6 pieces are left. The numerator shows how many equal parts are described. The denominator shows the total number of equal parts in a whole. So what fraction of the pan of fruit bars was served? 2/6 of the pan of fruit bars was served. What fraction of the fruit bars was left? 4/6 of the fruit bars were left. What is the same about both of these fractions? The denominators are the same because the total number of parts is the same. How are these fractions different? The numerators are different because they describe different parts of the whole.
All right, so there's a little bit more on fractions, and you have the step 5 lesson. That would be helpful. Now, here is what we're asking you to do, and notice that it's not due yet. So I want you to take a little time, and it says online topics 0, 1 through 4. That's our topics 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to go and look at it, go look at it. If you think, you know what, I'm going to look at it, but I'm not going to take it. I want to go back and look at number 3 and play the video. Go play the video. We want you to do the best job that you can do. It isn't rushed. We don't want that. See how there's 1, 2, 3, 4? That's what that pertains to. Okay? So if you want to go back and look at something, or you think, yeah, I just want to take a quick peek, go for it. That'd be great. Couldn't be happier. All right?
If you are looking for the math homework pages, it was on May 20th that I posted it.
Okay.
So you can find it there, and then you just scroll all the way down. If you guys printed these, and that's great, then you'll find step up 5 here. Here's the reteaching of the fractions. And then here is the practice page.
Okay. It gives you an idea of what's available out there to you. Then keep on reading, keep doing PE, and get that heart rate up. And now we come to science.
Why don't let's move on with writing and 5 things,
okay.
and then we'll end with science today.
Okay.
So for the science, it's gonna take a while because we're gonna go over every question. So let's review writing. So right now, I just posted in your guys' Google Classroom account a writing assignment. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to your teacher's classroom account. So Ms. Dominguez will go to Ms. Dominguez's. You're gonna see that I posted a new assignment called Letter to My Future Self. Now what you're gonna do is once you go there, you are going to see a letter that I posted for you guys. And so it's going to sit, and then you guys will look at your own copy. So let's look at Muna's. So then you guys can change whatever you want on your own letter. So this is going to be for yourself, and we're gonna write, do not open until the end of senior year in high school. That's gonna be around the time when you guys are 18. Now think of it a time capsule. So we gave you guys the other time capsule projects, and you guys can keep those too, and you can print those out and ask your parents to keep it, or they can save it as a PDF document on like a USB or on their computers. And basically what we want you guys to do is talk about your time as a second grader going through this pandemic. Okay, so you might say like, dear future Muna, and then you start typing here saying, hi, so, I am currently 7 or 8 years old. I'm going to Whitman Elementary School, and these are my best friends. And, on March 13th, 2020, that was our final day of second grade in our classrooms. And you might want to talk about that so that when you're an 18-year-old, you can remember, oh my gosh, like I totally forgot that this is the stuff that I went through. So talk about specific things, talk about what you did. Like, I know some of you guys are staying up much later than normal playing games on your computers because you guys don't have to wake up early. Or, some of you guys are living with grandma and grandpa because, mom's a nurse and dad's a policeman. So a lot of you guys are going through challenging times that a lot of people your age never went through when they were in second grade. So I think it would be really awesome for you guys to talk about all the different things that happened, how the feelings that you guys had, what you went through, the things that you guys overcame. And then to make it fun, I want you to ask your future self questions. For example, Miss Park did something like this, and the questions I asked my future self was, do you have a car yet? Did you get your driver's license when you were 16? Or did mom throw you a big birthday party when you became a teenager? Or did you have a sweet 16 and have a huge party? Or when you were 15, did you go to a quinceañera? So, you can ask yourself these questions, or like, oh, what college do you want to go to? Or, are you still friends with so-and-so? Because she was my best friend in second grade, and is she still at the school you're at? So you guys can ask all of these questions to yourself so that when you're a senior in high school, you'll read it and I think it'll be super fun. I love this, and it was crazy because I had to wait so long, but I loved being able to read it in my future. So I think this is a great opportunity for you guys to talk about the experiences you're having, and then to also ask questions to your future self. So this will be fun. I did create it like this to kind of give you guys an idea of what to write, but you guys can change the font. You can make this any different type of font size or colors. You guys can add photos if you want from the internet or yourself. You guys can make them, you can change every line to another color. There's no specifics. And to be honest, we're not even really going to grade this. So you guys can write it however you want. This is for you guys, so that you guys can enjoy and talk about some of the experiences you've had. So as long as you do it, you're going to get 100% on this assignment. Okay. So we want you to have fun, and we want you to enjoy this writing assignment and add as many photos or pictures or drawings as you guys want. You can write as many pages as you want as well. Do you have anything to add, Ms. Nunez?
You know what? There is a delightful commercial, believe it or not, that shows where the child was, say, a little bit older than you, and then as adult, what they end up doing. It's a lot of fun. What Miss Park is, I know and remember doing it. I want you to know how she said, do you still have friends that you had maybe in kindergarten? I'm going to tell you, yes, I do. And they live across the different states, but it is quite fun to have questions that in 10 years you can look back and say, oh, wow, I really wrote that. Enjoy it. You're living right now through one of the most incredible times with everything that's happened, telling people that schools are closed, but you're still going. You're doing things differently. You're still getting lessons. So please, 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 we want you to do it. Have fun with it. There's so much you can say and do. Maybe you want to tell us how rich you're going to be too in 10 years.
All right, guys.
Okay.
So that's going to be your writing for the rest of the week. You're going to notice that I did take off all those other writing assignments. You do not need to do those anymore. If you want to, you still have those available to you. But the only assignment we're going to have for you guys is going to be your future self writing. If you finish it early, you can add more, or you guys could just be done with writing, or you can do it for extra practice if you want. The 5 things is going to be the same as normal. You're going to take your practice vocabulary test. So go to vocabulary test, practice vocabulary, and then you're going to go to spelling test, practice spelling. Once you go there, then you're going to go to Connect Ed, click on grammar, and then mechanics. We're going to quickly show you guys your, let me just share my desktop. So Tommy uses the blank catching glove of all of the team members. So it uses the little catching glove, littler, or the littlest. So there's multiple team members. So you're going to click littlest.
Good job.
And then you'll move on to the next one. Okay, so these are going to be adjectives that compare. The next thing you guys are going to do is your mechanics activity. And then your mechanics activity today is find the error, select the word that needs to be changed or that needs punctuation, then choose the proofreading symbol that will fix it. I am Mary's friend. So Mary, apostrophe S. We go to Harrington Schools Playground, apostrophe S, because Mary's friend Schools Playground, they're belonging words on Saturdays. We are in Mrs. Smith's, apostrophe S, second grade class.
We need it. We need
Okay. So those are
Fantastic.
Yeah, these are possessive noun. Mary's friend. She possesses that friend. You know, that Mrs. Smith possesses a second grade class. So I know that's kind of interesting, but it's a belonging word. So apostrophes with possessive nouns is what you guys will be doing today. The last thing we want to go over today is going to be your science. Now, you're going to attend the Zoom meeting. So for those of you guys who are here, awesome. If you want today, you guys can create a Kahoot or Gimkit, and then tomorrow, instead of doing a normal lesson with Ms. Dominguez and I, we will play that Kahoot or that Gimkit game that you guys created. Now, if nobody creates it, then we'll just do a regular lesson, and that's fine, okay? Let me go ahead and find it really quick. All right, so here is your test. Unit 4, Living Things and Habitats. It is going to be I believe, a 20-question test, yes?
Yes.
So you're gonna first write your answer, your name. How are plants able to grow in a dark cave? The answer is there's little light near the opening. So remember, like that plant that we saw, even though it was in the shade, it still can reach over and get the light from the sun, and then that's how the plants can grow, okay? Number 2, Camilla planned an investigation with 2 plants of the same kind. She gave 1 teaspoon, which is very little water, to plant A, and then 20 teaspoons, which sounds like a lot, but teaspoons are actually very small, to plant B. It's like maybe like a cup of water, I don't know. So which plant will look green and healthier? It will be the 20 teaspoons, because 20 teaspoons is way more water that the actual plant needs than just 1. Like if you were really, really thirsty and we gave you guys a sip of water instead of a glass of water, you would still be very thirsty. So plant B is going to be green and healthier. Which sentence does not show a necessary part of Camilla's planning? It's going to be labeling with the same marker. Now, all of these questions were actually the questions that we went over in class, in our online Zoom classes every day. So you'll see a lot of these are similar to the questions that you guys have already seen. So it doesn't need to be labeled with the same marker. As long as there's a label on it, it doesn't matter if it's a blue color or a red color, the label, the marker does not matter, as long as you have the labels on there. How do animals help plants make more plants? Animals will take care of the plants in the forest. Well, they don't take care of them. They're not like farmers or like us where we're actually helping and taking care of them. Animals help plants by spreading their seeds. Yes, that is true. Like the lamb, it gets these sticky seeds on it and then it carries it. Or butterflies or birds will carry the different pollen and spread out the pollen so more plants can be grown. Or a chipmunk might carry a seed to its home and bite the seed, and then some of the seeds will fall. So, some animals eat seeds and then they poop them out and then they leave them somewhere else and then they grow. So that's how animals can help plants, by spreading their seeds. Animals do not help plants. They do help plants in the sense that they help the spreading. Animals go to school to become plant experts, and we know that's not the answer. So B would be the best choice. Animals help plants by spreading their seeds. Number 5, how could dandelions seeds be dispersed? Wind blows the seeds, yes. The seed sticks to an animal's fur, yes. A child picks the dandelion and carries it to school, yes, that's true, because if a child were to blow on the dandelion or bring it somewhere else, then the seeds are being dispersed, spread out. So the answer would be all of the above. How does the structure of a flower help a butterfly pollinate? The pollen of the flower is sticky, so it can stick on the butterfly. It can stick on the butterfly's feet, on its wings. So it sticks and then it spreads. What living things could you find in a schoolyard? You could find insects, those are living. Trees and grass are also living. Plants are living things, so all of the above. Which sentence best tells why a plant lives in its habitat? Let's see. The habitat has a few animals that will eat the plant. Which habitat best tells why a plant lives in its habitat? The habitat has a few animals that will eat the plant. The habitat has what the plant needs. Okay, that sounds like the right answer. The habitat has many of the same kinds of plants. The habitat has the same weather all year. No, it doesn't have to have the same weather all year. So I believe, yep, the habitat has what the plants need. So it has like the right type of sun, the right type of weather, so that the plant can get everything it needs. Number 9, true or false? Some animals are able to live in 2 different habitats because both habitats meet the animal's needs. Yes, that is true. They can live in different types of habitats as long as the habitats have what the animals need. Which habitat would you find animals eating nuts, berries, and finding shelters in trees? Usually you would see a lot more trees in the forest, so it's going to be forest. Which habitat would you find animals digging burrows to stay cool? So somewhere that's really hot, the desert. Number 12, which habitat would you find animals using the grass as food and shelter? And the key word here is grass, so that's going to be grasslands. Number 13, which sentence best explains why a rainforest is a good habitat for birds? Which sentence best explains why a rainforest is a good habitat for birds? And the answer is the rainforest has treetops, because remember, birds fly up in the sky. They have treetops, and the treetops have fruit. So that's why a rainforest is good for birds. Your teacher asks you to do a research project. There are 4 steps. Step 1, understand the question. Step 2, think of keywords to use to search the topic. Step 3, go online and research the topic. What is step 4? And if you don't know what step 4 is, then I'm very concerned. Is it play Roblox or write notes about the information you read? You need to be writing notes about the information you read. Number 15, what part of a turtle best helps protect it from enemies? Now, flippers could, because you could swim away, but the best protection is going to be its shell. Okay, so the answer is the shell. An ocean is a large body of, and we know this from even when you guys wrote your narrative about your birds, it's going to be salt water. And then a pond is a small body of fresh water. Both ponds and oceans give plants and animals what they need. Okay, so ponds don't really have different areas of temperatures. Ponds are usually smaller and oceans are usually larger. So the best answer is going to be the third one, gives plants and animals what they need. And then 2 more. 19, which step does not belong in an investigation to find out how many different types of animals live in a tide pool? And the answer is measure how deep the tide pool is. You do not need to know how deep, which means like how far down the tide pool goes. What you need to know is you want to observe the animals in the tide pool so that you could see the different types. And then you want to record the number of different kinds of animals in a tide pool. So you might have like a checkoff list, like, oh, I see a starfish, I see a sea urchin. So 1 and 3 you need. The only thing you don't need to do is measure how deep the tide pool is. That does not need to be a step in your investigation. And then last one, which pattern is true about animals in the ocean? All large animals live in the deep part of the ocean. That's not true. Sharks can live, on the top layer, and whales come up to the top layer. All smaller animals eat plants. No, that's not true either. There are a lot of small animals that actually eat other animals, and so
Other little fish.
Mm-hmm. And then number 3, all ocean animals can survive in salt water. Yes, all ocean animals have to because the ocean is made of salt. So the answer will be C right here. All right, guys, so that is your test. I know I went through those kind of fast, so what you can do is you can watch the YouTube video later and then review all of these questions. And then tomorrow we will do the exact same thing unless one of you decides to create a Kahoot quiz or a Gimkit, and then we can play that tomorrow if you guys would like. All right, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, you guys